Have you recently came to Christianity? Maybe before this, you lived a party lifestyle. Maybe you used to get a lot of girls, or you were always out at the bars doing the drugs. You felt like you were on top of the world, like you were some big, strong stud, right? And now you're a follower of Jesus, but part of you feels like you lost your swagger, like you lost your confidence. If that sounds like you, then you're in the right place, because in today's video, we're gonna be going over 3 different steps that you can take to sharpen your masculine edge as a Christian man. This is gonna be one of the most impactful videos that I post on this channel, so I highly suggest that you watch this video all the way till the end. So last weekend, I was at this event for Steve Weatherford, and I ended up meeting this dude who was a total stud, who used to be a Muslim, and he's actually come to Christianity, and he was just telling me about his past, like his testimony, what he's been through, what he's done, and how Jesus has changed his life. Back in college, he was this fraternity president. He got all the girls, he did all the drugs, he had sex with everyone, but he was just a big partier. He was explaining to me that he used to have all this clout. People really respected him, and he felt like a lot of his self-worth, like his sense of self-worth, came from hooking up with all these girls, having all the boys around him, and being able to be the life of the party, and always having all the attention on him. And what he was telling me was, ever since he came to Christianity, it's been awesome, and God has completely changed his life and set him free from all these addictions and this party lifestyle, but a part of him feels like he's lost his masculine edge, like he's lost his internal confidence. He doesn't feel like he walks with a sense of swagger anymore. And overall, he feels like he's gone from being like a strong, confident man for all the wrong reasons to this more soft, more passive version of himself. And what's funny is me and him have a very similar background. I wasn't a frat president, but I was in the frat, I was all in, and I lived the total degenerate lifestyle for 4 years in college. And so he looks at me and he asks, "Do you ever feel the same way?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel like that all the time." I thought to myself many times, dude, I used to get all the girls, and I used to be so popular and have all these friends, and I always had stuff to do in college. Now I kind of just do work all day and work out and go to Chipotle and go to church, and that's really it. Naturally, you're gonna feel like you've lost a sense of self. You're no longer the same guy who used to get all the girls and have all this fun stuff to do, because you're following God now. The Bible calls us, once we become Christians, to become born again, to be filled with the Holy Spirit, and for our old selves to die, which is good. But at the same time, I think there are still a lot of different ways that you can sharpen yourself as a masculine man and not become this passive cookie cutter Christian guy. Like, you don't have to live on polar opposite sides of the spectrum. You don't have to be like a total frat degenerate that gets all the girls, but then you become a Christian and now you're just like a soft, feminine, nice guy. It does not have to be that way. And so after this conversation, this guy got me wondering, what do I need to do to sharpen myself as a Christian man so that I can have my self-worth in Jesus, but also walk around with a sense of confidence again? The answer that I came up with may surprise you. For those of you who don't know me already, my name is Braden. I help Christian men to completely transform their lives through faith-based self-improvement. If you want to join me on this journey, do me a favor, scroll down and click on that subscribe button, and I promise you it's going to be a win-win for the both of us. So after doing all this research, I was able to compile everything into just 3 steps that you need to do to sharpen your masculine edge as a strong Christian man of God. Now, step number 1 is you need to find your purpose. You need to figure out why the creator of this universe sent you here in the first place. And the best way to figure this out is I want you to ask yourself the following questions. What am I naturally good at? What do I enjoy doing? What transformation have I made in my own life? Or what knowledge do I have that I could use to change somebody's life with? And once you're able to answer those questions, I promise you're going to be able to point yourself in the right direction as to what your purpose is. One thing that we don't always realize whenever we're reading through the Bible is that Jesus Christ was one of the most masculine men to ever walk this earth. One of the biggest things that I harp on when it comes to masculinity is you must have a mission or a purpose for being alive. And Jesus was a perfect example for what that should look like. The only reason that Jesus came here was to give us an opportunity to spend the rest of our lives in heaven with God. And Jesus did not allow anything to get in his way of fulfilling the God-given purpose that he had for coming to this earth. He was 100% focused on doing the things that he needed to do, the things that God sent him here to do. And we need to be the exact same way. We are all made in God's image, and we all have a God-given purpose for why he sent us to this earth. And now it's your job to figure that out. And once you do, you need to go all in on fulfilling your purpose. It should be the only thing that you think about, and you shouldn't let anything get in the way of you fulfilling your purpose. The second step that you need need to take is you need to become a leader. One of the best ways to sharpen your masculine edge is by stepping into a leadership position and challenging yourself. And it doesn't matter what you do. The only thing that I care about is you need to be the leader of whatever group you're involved with. You need to be the guy who steps up, takes responsibility, and guides that group of men. You could be the leader of the chess team, you could be leading a small group at your church, or you could be simply leading workouts with your buddies. I want you to realize that confidence comes from competence. I want you to become a strong leader. And one of the best ways to do that is to be able to persuade and influence people. And obviously, you want to do this with their best interest in mind. You want to lead them to becoming better men. And the better that you become as a leader, the more that these guys under you will respect you. And the more that you feel respected, the more confident that you're going to become. The Bible calls us to be followers of Jesus, and guess what? Jesus was a leader. So in the same light, we're called to be leaders as well. Most importantly, we're called to lead people to Jesus, to live our lives in such a way that we exemplify Jesus to one another. So the point of you becoming a leader or stepping into one of these positions is twofold. You become a stronger man in the process, therefore sharpening your masculine edge. And number two, you're going to be able to guide men closer to Jesus because they're going to look up to you, they're going to respect you, and they're going to value your opinion. The third step that you need to take to sharpen your masculine edge is you must get around the right group of men or find the right community. A lot of us don't realize how much our friend group can influence the type of man that we become. There's an analogy. If you take two different pigs and you put them in two different environments, you put one pig at a farm where he gets fed and he gets taken care of and he gets to play around in the mud pit, he's going to develop a certain way. He's going to be fluffy, he's going to be pink, he's going to be sweet, he's going to squeal. He's going to look like pretty well kept, like the average pig that you would see if you searched up pig on the internet. But if you take another pig and you put him out in the wild, he's going to develop in a completely different way. His fur is going to get thicker. He's going to look like more grungy, more ferocious. He's going to develop tusks because he's going to have to be out there in the wild fending for himself. So he's going to develop a certain way and he's going to be tougher and more equipped to handle being out there all by himself without anyone to give him food or take care of him. And in the same way, if you want to develop yourself and you want to become more masculine or you want to be a sharper, stronger leader, you need to be in the right environment. You need to get around the right men who can consistently push you outside of your comfort zone. One of my favorite quotes from the book, The Way of the Superior Man, that I've shouted out a few times, seek out experiences that push you outside of your comfort zone, for it is in the discomfort that true growth occurs. The men that you surround yourself with and hang out with on a daily basis should consistently push you outside of your comfort zone and force you to do things that you do not want to do. Like last weekend at that event that I went to, I was forced to do over 700 lunges and jump into a cold plunge, both of which are things that I did not want to do at all. But because I was surrounded by the right group of men, I was forced to do it, and it helped me to become a stronger and more Christ-centered version of myself. Remember that the more that you get pushed outside of your comfort zone, the more that you develop and the more that you will sharpen your masculine edge. And I'm going to safely assume that you, watching this video right now, do not have a strong community of Christian brothers around you that you can surround yourself who can consistently push you outside of your comfort zone. What I want you to do is click the top link in the description and join our free Christian Discord. It's filled with like-minded guys who are all on faith-based self-improvement, pushing themselves to grow, to develop, and to become the best possible version of themselves. So if that sounds of interest to you, click that top link in the description, and I and all the guys inside are going to look forward to welcoming you once you join. Find your purpose, become a leader, and get yourself around the right group of men so that you can finally reach your true potential. I hope that God blesses you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.